Yeah, I could go like this and try to read it off the screen, but that is not going to work. So, anyway, my other tablet's working okay. There's things about it I like, things about it I don't like. I can do voice on it, I can do swipe, minor things. Two of the multi-tab and the back arrow don't light up, which sucks because I do a lot of stuff in low light. But I can live with that. I can learn where they're at, and I know which ones that they are. All right, so listen. The issue of in the story, they're training women. There's a big argument between Susan and the other women, about training the women. Well, my take on it is that as bad as things are obviously getting in the story, and as bad as things will likely get here in this country and around the world, if anybody does not plan on training women to fight, they probably are not planning on being around long. Gonna have to. I mean, at least you'd be able to pick up a gun and, defend somebody. I mean, if there's a force coming at their house and the husband's the only one shooting, or maybe him and a couple of 3 kids, and the mom can't pick up a gun and help, shoot somebody that's about to shoot her husband or shoot her son or daughter, that's just retarded. Okay, not smart. But I made the point that, with the countryman, that, and I think 3 replies. Okay, what else did I say? I made a 3rd comment. Second comment, which I'm going to do now, is the female of the species. So I just want to finish up with the 3rd comment because it's just brief. And there's the links here. Again, chapter 51, part 3. There's some links in there for a video, YouTube, of Walk Wide of the Widow at Windsor set to music. Jim Croce does Gunga Din. Really nice rendition of it. Listen to that. I mean, I love Rudyard Kipling. He's, just was a phenomenal poet, and a lot of common sense. The Islanders, Barrack Room Ballads. The heathen in his blindness bows down to wood and stone. He don't obey no orders unless they is his own. Too many people that call themselves Christians are that way. Way too many. They do what they think is right. They're doing, every man doing that which is right in their own eyes, and they say they worship Yahweh, and that they have some kind of respect for Yeshua, for Jesus, and they give them no respect. They give them no honor. All right. My 3rd point is this. When you kill a woman's child, her lover, her parent, you unleash a fury that can be utilized in ways that men cannot conceive, but which can be highly effective. Women can do things men can't, including use their wiles and graces and smiles and, other attributes, shall we say, to take men in. Here are a couple sites about women in guerrilla outfits. There's an entire guerrilla outfit in the Middle East of women. And also there's a list of, I think it's called rejectedprincesses.com, www.rejectedprincesses.com, women in combat. And it's like a list of mini biographies of women in combat. Basically it says if somebody says women can't do anything militarily, throw this list at them. So, but my point is that it's said that I read a lot about guerrilla warfare back when, and one of the points made was that women are some of the deadliest guerrilla warfare fighters. Again, because they have, somebody killed their son, somebody killed their daughter, and their husband, and they're mad, and they're going to fight, so deal with it. The classic, probably the all-time classic situation of a queen, some people may be familiar with Queen Boadicea. Some people pronounce it Boudica, whatever. She was a Celtic Iberian queen, and the Romans came in and they raped her daughters, her 2 daughters. Well, she got pissed off. She sent out word for armies to gather, and when all was said and done, she had slaughtered about 80,000, 100,000 Romans. They paid a very high price. So they eventually did capture her, and she died, basically suicide. But, it was a classic, don't mess with the indigs, don't piss them off, and definitely don't piss off women. So kind of what Countryman was saying. All right, I'm going to finish there, and then I'll read, let me just go ahead and read why. Yeah, I'll just finish that up. This is Kipling, and it's entitled The Female of the Species. When the Himalayan peasant meets the he-bear in his pride, he shouts to scare the monster, who will often turn aside. But the she-bear thus accosted rends the peasant tooth and nail. Sorry about that, Chief. But the she-bear thus accosted rends the peasant tooth and nail, for the female of the species is more deadly than the male. When Nag, the basking cobra, hears the careless foot of man, he will sometimes wriggle sideways and avoid it if he can. But his mate makes no such motion where she camps beside the trail, for the female of the species is more deadly than the male. When the early Jesuit fathers preached to Hurons and Choctaws, they prayed to be delivered from the vengeance of the squaws. 'Twas the women, not the warriors, turned those stark enthusiasts pale, for the female of the species is more deadly than the male. Man's timid heart is bursting with the things he must not say, for the woman that God gave him isn't his to give away. But when hunter meets with husbands, each confirms the other's tale. The female of the species is more deadly than the male. Man a bear in most relations, worm and savage otherwise. Man propounds negotiations, man accepts the compromise. Very rarely will he squarely push the logic of a fact to its ultimate conclusion in unmitigated fact. Fear or foolishness impels him, ere he lay the wicked low, to concede some form of trial even to his fiercest foe. Mirth obscene diverts his anger, doubt and pity oft perplex him in dealing with an issue to the scandal of the sex. But the woman that God gave him, every fiber of her frame proves her launched for one sole issue, armed and engined for the same. And to serve that single issue, lest the generations fail, the female of the species must be deadlier than the male. She who faces death by torture for each life beneath her breast may not deal in doubt or pity, must not swerve for fact or jest. These be purely male diversions, not in these her honor dwells. She, the other law we live by, is that law and nothing else. She can bring no more to living than the powers that make her great. As the mother of the infant and the mistress of the mate. And when babe and man are lacking and she strides unclaimed to claim her right as femme and barren, her equipment is the same. She is wedded to convictions in default of grosser ties. Her contentions are her children, heaven help him who denies. He will meet no suave discussion, but the instant, white-hot, wild, wakened female of the species warring as for spouse and child. Unprovoked and awful charges, even so the she-bear fights. Speech that drips, corrodes, and poisons, even so the cobra bites. Scientific vivisection of one nerve till it is raw, and the victim writhes in anguish, like the Jesuit with the squaw. So it comes that man, the coward, when he gathers to confer with his fellow braves in council, dare not leave a place for her. Where at war with life and conscience he uplifts his erring hands to some god of abstract justice which no woman understands. And man knows it, knows moreover that the woman that God gave him must command, but they may not govern, shall enthrall, but not enslave him. And she knows, because she warns him, and her instincts never fail, that the female of her species is more deadly than the male.